I think I got everything wrong about self-worth. For most of my life, I thought self-worth was something you earned. It was proven. It was accumulated. I thought if I became impressive enough, successful enough, talented enough, then eventually I would arrive at this point where everything just felt okay. Looking back, I don't think I was chasing success, but I think I was chasing permission. Permission to feel worthy. You see, the thing that you want to have is really just an excuse for an emotion that you want to feel. The money is never about the money, it's about freedom. The relationship isn't about the relationship, it's love. Any achievement is, is never about the achievement, it's about significance. The thing is never really the thing. It's just actually what we believe the thing will give to us. I was always obsessed with this need to be impressive. Way before I started appreciating myself, I knew that I wanted to be appreciated by other people. And I thought I could prove my worth through doing. So I became very good at performing. Performing competence, performing success, performing confidence, performing me, but not necessarily being myself. I make music for a living, and I'm fortunate enough that people pay me to do something I genuinely love. But like so many creative careers, it comes with wild swings. One good month and I feel like I'm on top of the world, and one bad month and I feel like, damn, have I made every wrong decision possible to get here? And that's when I started realizing something like the money is never really about the money. It's about what it means, the validation, the approval, the evidence that I'm valuable, evidence that I'm doing life correctly, evidence that I matter. I had made my worth contingent on applause. But the thing is, when you do that, something strange starts happening. You begin living in these thought worlds again. These entire realities that you create in your mind. A slow month doesn't just stay a slow month, it becomes proof that you're failing. A difficult conversation doesn't stay a difficult conversation, it becomes a world where you're unlovable. A setback isn't a setback, it becomes a world where you've ruined your life. And the scary thing about those worlds is you tell me they don't feel completely real because your body responds to them like they're reality. Your nervous system responds to it like it's reality. You suffer because of them as though they are reality. And don't get me wrong, the event is real, but the world isn't. The bills are real, but the story you keep telling yourself about them aren't. The setbacks are real, but the catastrophe is imagined. I say that to say all of your feelings are totally real. It's just your conclusions aren't. Over the past few months, I just realized that my circuits were kind of fried. You know, not just for all of the typical reasons. I mean, like I said, inconsistent income can be stressful, but I think it's really because my sense of self became so fused with performance. I wasn't just making music anymore, I was trying to survive through music. You know, I wasn't just creating, I was trying to prove my worth. And slowly, but surely, It was taking the joy out of the thing that I love the most. And I was hitting my head against the wall about it for a while, but eventually I was like, I gotta make a change. So I decided to pick up a job as a mailman. And honestly, if you would have told an earlier version of myself that, I would have probably laughed my way into tears. Because it was so far away from the identity that I was trying to maintain. But I think I'm starting to see that that's exactly why I need it. Because this is something that doesn't require praise, it requires process. Something that when the day is over, just the day is over. So, I think for the first time in a long time, I'm beginning to untangle who I am from what I can produce. Untangling who I am from what other people think. Now, if there's anything years of shadow work will teach you, it's that growth isn't always about adding something. Sometimes it's about removing something, removing a belief, removing an illusion, removing the resistance. See, a lot of what we call effort is actually just friction. It's resistance. It's fighting reality. It's arguing with what is. A lot of us think we're exhausted because we're working hard, but sometimes it's just we're exhausted because a lot of us are carrying around entire imaginary worlds that aren't even true. We've all heard the expression being in the zone. Or you could also call it flow state. People think that comes from letting go. But I think flow is earned. Not through force, but rather through understanding. See, a master sailor looks effortless crossing an ocean, but that effortlessness wasn't given to him. It was cultivated. It was cultivated through years of mistakes and observations. It was given to him through years of learning how an ocean behaves. You see, effortlessness isn't about putting in less effort. It's about eliminating wasted effort. And understanding reduces friction. The more deeply you can understand life, the less you need to fight it. Your peace comes from realizing your wasted efforts and then refining them. Making the unconscious weights conscious. And then releasing them. Over and over and over and over and over again. It's not about becoming someone else, but becoming less of who you're not. It's about seeing the thought worlds, seeing the resistance, seeing the conditioning. And slowly and surely refining it. You realize it by catching the stories that we tell ourselves. And you refine it by feeling safe enough to let it go. Because the greatest gift imaginable isn't success. It isn't recognition or applause or anything, really. It's peace. It's freedom. It's getting to experience this life without constantly making your happiness conditional. So now, when I catch myself wondering, when will my time come? I realize that I'm asking the wrong question, because I have made everything conditional. I'll be happy when. I'll relax when. I'll feel worthy when. You know? But what if the feeling we're looking for isn't even on the other side of achievement? What if it's available right now? Day by day, I'm starting to realize that maybe that guy Jesus was onto something here. What if the kingdom of heaven is just really within? And the only person who needs to grant, permission to feel it is yourself. So I thought, self-worth was earned. I thought it was something you had to prove. But I got everything wrong. I spent years outside of a door that was never really locked. Because self-worth, it isn't earned. It's remembered. And maybe, just maybe, the work of a lifetime is simply removing everything that convinced me otherwise. Until then, this is here if you need it.